she's my favourite character, so I went to a company called Shapeways in Amsterdam, who are now in New York, and basically I reposed the character in this pose. As you can see, I took the earrings off because 3D printing, some things you have to be quite considerate about. So things like the earrings, you have to remove the earrings because the 3D printing might make it too fragile and it might break off in transit, especially if you're selling it to customers. So I removed the earrings, and then later on I removed the tail as well because that is also something that's very fragile. So that's the 3D model, the turnaround of it. Shapeways printed that out as a solid 3D print, which was quite expensive. Normally you tend to hollow things out so that it uses up less material because you're paying for the density of the material basically. So that is a solid 3D print. As you can see in there close up, it comes out a little bit rough, but you can sand it down, but I didn't want to reduce the amount of definition on it. So I went to the next stage and I painted it myself. That's using acrylic paint because the 3D printing material that you use is quite porous. So if you use acrylic paint, it sticks quite well to it. And obviously for things like the skin tone, you get two different colours, you mix them up, you can, and yeah, just went and painted it. That's the finished one. I had to put a lot of layers of gloss paint on the body to make it sort of shiny because it's quite a rough material. It's quite hard to get smooth glossy surfaces with it. So I was really pleased with how that looked. It's really nice to see something that has always been 3D turn into a physical object. So I thought I'd give it a go. I thought I'd try and make it as a mass-produced figure that anybody can buy. So I went to a company in Hong Kong called Onage. Now, as you can see, it's quite rough when you look quite close up. Now, Onage, they printed it out. The one on the left is a solid 3D print, and the one on the right is a cast from urethane. Now, that for me was absolutely amazing because the previous print from Shapeways was quite rough. So, going from there, they then broke it up into pieces. You can see how the legs slot into the base and the arms slot into the body, and it made out simple pieces that fit into each other quite sturdily, so that even when it's in transit and even when it's being shipped to customers, it won't break. I made 50 of them and not a single one came back with any kind of problems on it. So they sent me the prototype and I was really pleased with it. So then they went into production, they made 50 of them. Those are all the casts. The bases are made out of polystyrene for the weight, and everything else on it is made out of urethane for the flexibility and durability. Painted all the heads to the specification. It took a few goes to get it right because the lip shape is very specific. They've got an iPad there, which is, I didn't even think they had stuff like that to use for reference. 50 of them got made. They're recently all sold out, and that's the finished article. So I was really pleased with how that turned out, and even though they've all sold out, I'm quite inspired to make some more. So I have got another Trixie figure in the works, which I'm very excited about, but it's still in the prototype stage, so I can't show anybody yet, which is a bit disappointing. But if you keep an eye on my page, I shall have some pictures fairly soon. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And yeah, if you design a figure really nicely, you can design it in such a way that it works really well as a 3D figure. Like, it's generally simplistic forms, good silhouettes, nicely sort of expressive faces, and try and make it so that it looks good from all the angles. Like if it's in a pose, make it a good pose so it looks good from multiple angles.